We have some guests here from the Community Foundation of South Cook County, and Carol Davis is the leader of the group, and I'm going to let her introduce the rest of them.
All right, thank you, Jim. First of all, thank you for having us today. And we're here today to talk about the Knight Foundation Community Information Challenge. And so with me today is Sue Cotton, who is the project director for that project, and then also Stephanie Hams. And Stephanie's been out doing a lot of legwork for us, doing surveys as we gather community information.
Everybody's getting this, like me, probably out of the dark and out of the cold and out of the blue. What is this information challenge?
The Community Information Challenge is a grant-funded project that the Community Foundation undertook to try and help the community decide where there are gaps in information. We all know that if you're going to have a democracy, you have to have an informed citizenry. And we all know that people want information, whether it's about their schools or about government meetings for public accountability, and even to be able to come together as a community and just grow our connectedness to each other so we can solve problems better. So that's the mission behind it, is to discover and research what our information needs are and how we can make sure that information gets to people.
Okay, is this something new, or is this something that has been in existence as far as like getting the information? I mean, I guess what I'm looking at is you're looking at the challenge now, but if we look back 10, 12, 13 years ago, how were people getting information then? It's basically the same, right?
Well, actually, that's changing quite a bit. In fact, this past year, in January of 2009, the United States reached a tipping point. More people now access their news online than through a print vehicle. The data shows that more people are actually reading news, but more of them are reading it online. And so as the industry changes and information moves online, one of the challenges we have as a community is to determine who might be left behind and what we could do about it if they don't have a computer or haven't used a computer before or don't have internet access.
I guess, Carol, let's go back to you a little bit. Knight Foundation is what?
The Knight Foundation is a foundation. It's the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, and it grows out of the Knight Ridder newspaper chain. And so typically what the Knight Foundation has done is to fund communities that have Knight Ridder newspapers, which our community does not have a Knight. We have a Gannett newspaper, but in this case they wanted to focus on a rural community because they don't have very many rural communities that are part of this community information challenge.
You're talking about things and getting surveys out there to get them out there, and you have a timeline. What's the timeline look like that you need to get this done, to get this information, I guess, back to them so that they can reevaluate?
The application cycle for additional funding will be this fall. So ideally, we'd like to have our collection of survey information done by the middle of September. Stephanie has been working for us through a summer youth program through the Workforce Development Board. And we're very excited what she's been able to do already this summer, talking one-on-one and getting some information from community folks.
Stephanie, now let's talk a little bit to you and find out, first of all, summer youth program. That was the one that comes under the stimulus package, right, or whatever it was?
Correct.
And so how many are into this in this area that you're aware of?
Well, from what I gathered, they chose 200 people out of this area, this region, and there was 950 applications, and they only chose 200 people to be in the program. So.
Okay. First of all, let's start. What's your role in this community information project?
Well, my role may be very small, but it's very important. I go out and I survey the people on how they get their community information, and then I enter the data into the computer. Job is to make sure that this grant is spent wisely, that it'll go to good use.
Okay. And when you get out there, and I guess that's the first thing, Stephanie, what kind of response have you been getting from the community so far? I mean, and I guess, Carol, you and Sue can both put in on this. I've seen the TV commercial about getting an upgrade on your mobile telephone where they slam the door in everybody's faces. Are you starting to get a little bit of this? Or, you know, because some people aren't going to want to even bother to do this. They know the census is coming. Nobody likes to participate in them either. What have you been getting so far?
Well, we don't go door to door.
Okay.
I go to public events out in the community, And the responses have actually been more than great. Once they take the survey and they realize how short and how non-personal the survey actually is, it's great. And there's some people who will say no because they believe they don't want to get their personal information out there. But I want to reassure them that we're not asking for your name, we're not asking for your address, we're just asking for your zip code and your age range.
Okay, and so that's just a little bit. And I guess, Sue, let's go back to that. Are you anticipating that? Because, you know, some people are going to say, hey, this is nothing I want to get involved in.
We anticipated that there might be members who didn't want to, and Stephanie and Carol and I in our training and preparation talked about respecting people's wishes and making an invitation to participate, but that allowing people to choose. And what we're finding is that people care about this issue. You know, they recognize times are changing. They observe changes in our local newspaper and its reporting, and they know the newspaper is under many pressures and challenges. And so, you know, I think that it's actually responding to kind of an unspoken need, like, well, what will the future bring? How will I get my information?
Okay. And we have to clarify that here, because I know we've said newspaper a couple times. We have to clarify now it's newspapers in this area. So we have to make sure that we're aware of that fact.
Well, and let me just pitch in here is a good place to say, this project is in no way a competitor to our news producers and our publications. Our focus here is to support community involvement, and so we are gathering information and we'll be drawing together with people in the community who are stakeholders about information, making sure that that really the public is well served.
All right, and I see up on the screen, everybody can see it. To participate, there's a number to call, and it's 423-3863, which is the regular number for the Community Foundation, and then they can put your input because it is kind of important. So again, there's that number that's up there. Stephanie, help me out here. What kind of information are you looking to gather?
Well, it's no more than a 2-minute survey. It's pretty short. We want to know how you get your community information, where you get it from, about your home computer usage, if you have a computer, if not, why, and your home internet usage, if you have internet, and if you don't, why, and if you use computer at work. Just small, simple, short, 2-minute survey.
I guess now, Stephanie, when they take the thing, do they ask you what it's for or anything like that?
Yeah, a lot of times they do ask, and we do have little cards that we hand out that tells a little bit about the Community Foundation and about the Knight Foundation and what's going on and how you can get a hold of somebody if you want to know more.
Okay, and that's some good things to have.
There is more to the Community Information Challenge than just this initial survey of individuals. So it's a bit like peeling an onion, I guess. There are many layers to it. So the public is first seeing this survey, and next what they're going to see is community meetings, which will engage and interface different parts of the community. So the public sector, our government and elected officials, with our business, with our citizens, with our nonprofits, to come and talk about, you know, what are our assets when it comes to information, what do we already have in place, and confirming what are some of the gaps, and then asking the community what actions the community might want to take to respond to those. And so it's developmental. This is the first step, and there's a lot more to be done. And we're really looking forward to having people who are interested in the project give us a call at the Community Foundation.
Where's the plans for the future of the survey? Once you're all done with it, what are you going to do with it? You're going to have, she's got little papers there. You're going to have probably a bazillion little papers. What's the intent with the papers after that point?
It's multifaceted. The first will be we'll take that information and we'll ask what have we learned about our community. You know? And once we have some answers, like we may learn that a lot of people would like to have internet but don't have it because it's too expensive. Or we may find that people would like to use a computer but have never had computer training. So at that point, when we have a little information, we'll engage people in a discussion. People like people from the school district and people from the city and people from Mid-State Technical College and the nonprofits. And we'll start asking the question, if we're going to be a thriving, prosperous community, then how do we respond to these needs, okay, in our community related to information, particularly when you use media, you know, computers and internet. What do we as a community want to do about it? The Community Foundation comes alongside really as a planning assistant, you might say, helping people think about, okay, we have this vision, and you're right, Jim, this community is really very strong in its investment in actively looking to the future. So with this information, we'll use it to have those discussions. So that's sort of the next step.
That's the next step as you go on. Well, we got to get out of here. I want to thank all three of you for coming in, talking to us, and we'll tell everybody, look around, look for the green shirts, and ask them all about the initiative that you guys have going on, and hopefully you'll be able to get all the information you need in the future. So I want to thank my guests. For all my guests, it's Jim Walsh. Have a pleasant, good day.